Hi, I'm Elvie. We're back at the Bighorn Rancher. I've got 4 of us all together, Paul and Elizabeth. They're a married couple, and Lloyd. And I'm gonna walk around the house and show you these people, but we're back here to stain this house, the Bighorn Rancher. So I'll tell you what's happening. Paul here is going around on the porches.
Hi.
Paul says hi, and he's got the drill. He's just finding a few screws that kind of came a little loose or were a little high, tightening them down on that rough sawn porch deck. That's what he's doing. So let's go see what Elizabeth and Lloyd are doing. I'll tell you what I've been doing. I got my Leatherman and I was going around pulling out a few staples in the logs that were still sticking in the logs from the wrapping, the weather wrap that was on the logs when they got delivered. I found a couple staples is all, but let's walk around and see what Elizabeth is doing, and I'll tell you what that's about. We got the batteries charging here for the sanders, and Elizabeth has the sander, and this is the sanding disc. It's a fairly coarse sanding disc on the rechargeable battery DeWalt sander, and we're sanding these corners. The numbers are still on the face of the logs from the lettering when the logs were delivered. So what we're doing is knocking off the lettering and making them somewhat smooth and rounding off the corners. So that's what Elizabeth is doing, and I'll help her in a little while. I'm going around to find more staples. Okay, let's see what Lloyd is doing. Isn't that pretty? Lloyd is sanding the floors. Now, we lightly sand the decks just prior to cleaning and staining the decks. These are the rough sawn porch floors that many of you know that we put those on. And they don't need to have a heavy sanding. They just need to be kissed with that big sander. That's a heavy floor sander. It's a jitterbug. It vibrates, and it just takes it just knocks off maybe a high spot, or it just kind of kisses it, but it still leaves it what we would call a rough sawn floor. So it's not super smooth, but just a little character. But it just kind of, it kisses it, makes it real nice. Let's have a look. And this is Lloyd. Hi, Lloyd.
Well, hello there.
And I apologize for his accent.
I don't have an accent, you have the accent.
Oh, he's got that South African accent. But Lloyd is sanding the floors with that heavy sander, and when I feel it, it's still slightly rough. If you look at the texture, it's still got that rough sawn feel to it, but it just cleans up nicely. It knocks off some slivers and knocks off a few high areas. And so let's see, it looks like he's almost done. There's some pitch that he needs to sand off. And the next step is to clean the house with a pressure washer after we're done sanding the corners. Let's get an overview all around the house. I got a few minutes to do that while they are wrapping up the floor sanding. Paul is removing the temporary steps out front. Here's a beat up piece of sandpaper that we use for the floor. We go through a few of these on the floor. So many of you have watched the former videos of this house, starting with the subfloor being put together, and then the logs being put together, and the roof and the windows going in, and then the interior varnish and chinking. And we're back, the following year to get the outside stain on. And Paul is underneath there. Hi, Paul.
Hi.
And he is taking off these temporary steps. And the reason for that is because we put stain on this face, this fascia. That we installed that fascia. It's a Douglas fir that covers trims off the porch. And then, so he tightened up all the screws. There was some screws on the floor that were loose. You got the steps off. And I took off some staples. And hey, John, we came back, and so any reports on the house that you can tell our viewers? You've been in it over the winter now, or for what, a few months?
About 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. So what can you tell us about overall? Everything still standing?
Nope, it's still standing and everything's going well. It heats uniformly and that's comfortable, so still got lots of boxes to figure out where to put them, but we're making it.
We'll get some video inside. Maybe it's not completely finished, but it's nice enough to. It's beautiful. We take some video, but outside, I want to get a view of the house before we stain it and after. And you are going to be stunned, John, when this finish is done. You are not going to believe it. It looks like a totally different house when you're done. It's, I mean, people they can't believe it. It's really a nice finish when it's done. So we'll get your reaction when it's all done.
Sounds good. Thanks, Elvie.
You betcha. So obviously the front of the garage. I have not seen these garage doors yet. This is my first look at them. They're really nice. They match really well with the, I mean, they fit in real well. And let's have a look at the roof shingles. It looks like a very heavy composite asphalt shingle, I think is what it is. But they're nice looking shingles. I had this question asked yesterday, or maybe it was a few days ago, but on the roof shingles or metal, because there are some people from the Midwest saying that there's a trend of using metal roofing in the, like Indiana and the Midwest, but there's a trend out in the West here to be using the shingles. So it's just all a matter of preference. Years ago, we would use a lot of metal out here, and now it seems to go to shingles more. And now the East seems to use a lot of metal, but it's all a matter of preference. One's not really better than the other. So customers ask me, what's the better roofing? And I say, well, it's whatever you want. They're both, or any kind of roofing, whether it's shingles or metal. Nowadays, they're high quality, and you'll have no problems. It's whatever look you like to achieve, and that's going to be your preference and what makes you happy. So there's no better one. The thing we encourage you to stay away from is the low-cost, cheap, entry-level asphalt shingles, which can blow off in a hard wind and don't last that long. I just recommend you go with a better 30 or 40-year shingle and better metal. As long as you do that, you're fine. Just stay away from the real cheap stuff. Isn't that beautiful? Got the birds singing. And we got to take a look at the view here. Now we're at real life distance. It's not drawn in or extended out. That's how far away they are. Just a beautiful view here in the field. So there we have before and after. I'll get some after video when it's all done. We are applying the soap to the logs, the fascia, the railings, the decks. This is the ratio is 10% soap and 90% water. It draws this biodegradable cleaner out of the pail. It draws the water from the hose and then sucks the cleaner out of the pail and mixes it 10% soap. It's a cleaner designed for log and wood cleaning. So first we soak the whole house, make it wet with the cleaner solution in the water. You want enough? water to get it nice and wet, but just the right amount of soap. And then we let that sit on the logs for an hour, a couple hours. If the logs are very gray, we'll let it soak overnight, but in this case, the logs are fresh. So we'll go ahead and get it soaked up and then rinse it afterwards. So the next step after the house is soaked with this soap is to power wash with a different tip on the pressure washer for a lot of pressure, and we wash it hard. We completely wash the house down with the pressure washer. The soap helps break loose the gray particles and things, makes it nice and bright. It's a brightener. So that's what we're doing right now. And we'll get this soaked up, and then they're finishing to sand the corners. Looks like Lloyd got done here. These corners are all completed now. We got them semi-smooth and beveled. So those are ready for the water. We've got the soap washed off this side of the house. This is all washed, and Elizabeth and Lloyd are working on the masking. They put this plastic on, mask it real tight so the stain doesn't hit the glass. So now we have to finish all of the washing and getting all the plastic on. We have to let it dry long enough, but now it looks like we're getting some rain. But that's okay. We'll roll with it. After the sanding of the deck is done, we've soaped the deck, and now we're washing it off, and it turns golden. This is done, ready for stain as soon as the rain quits. We are completely done with the first coat, and we got this wing back here has got the second coat on it. So let's take a look and see how the second coat looks right there. The only thing left there is a clear top coat, the third coat. The weather turned out perfect today for the staining. It's not too hot, just right for drying. From this point back is all the second coat, and from that point forward is just one coat. The floor is still in the process of drying the first coat. The owners are very happy, John and Pam. They love their color, and so if they're happy, we are happy. Bighorn Rancher. It's a beauty. We're going to town for a couple hours to let this dry. The second coat's been 6 or 8 hours since we got done with it, but it's a little bit tacky yet. I mean the first coat, so we're going to let it dry a little bit, get some ice cream, hang out for a while, and then we'll come back and finish the second coat. It's already beautiful with just one coat. Let's see if we can see the difference between the first and second coat. Coat number 1, coat number 2. It was a good day. Day number 1.
Beautiful day.
Got a little rain, but didn't hurt anything. Everything's cleaned and masked, as you can see. And we got a little bit of stain on. Right on this side, we have 1 coat of stain. The Timber Pro plant-based pine wood color. There's my sprayer. It's okay there for the night. So today, to recap what happened today, we power washed everything with a soap application and then power wash, and then masked everything and put the stain on until this area right here. This is the second morning. We're driving to the job site. We're in the driveway, so we're off the highway, but there is the house all masked up, all ready for us to take over and get the stain put on. End of day 2, and we're done with the second coat. 2 days, 2 coats of stain. Paul and Elizabeth left for home, so we got most of the crew gone, but we got 3 coats on. 2 coats of color, 1 coat of clear. The house is completely done, stained, floors, rails, everything. So, John, how's it look to you?
Looks beautiful. Great job. Did it in a speedy fashion, so all worked good.
We had a good crew, had a system
very good.
that helped a lot. So, and the weather was perfect for it.
Yep.
So, it looks like a different house now. Okay, we're going in the house, starting into the garage door. And this is a garage with their belongings still in boxes. As many of you know, we, Meadowlark, put the log home up. We varnished the interior with varnish and put the chinking between the logs. Our crews started with the subfloor of the house. Then we set the logs up and put the ceiling and the roof on. And we put the windows and doors in. The garage doors are installed by somebody else. So we did everything up to the felt, and you can watch that in other videos of the Bighorn Rancher. So here we go into the house. There's John in the laundry room, right?
Yes.
And Pam had to go somewhere. So we also put this ceiling over the loft, a small storage loft, and we did the frame walls, just the framing underneath the drywall. We don't do the drywall, but we did the framing in this house. And this is what I like. This is what everyone likes. This great room. Living area, dining kitchen. Nice choice on cabinets, got the dark and the light contrast. And this room is very spacious. That's what I like about it. You can be in the video, we don't care. They were nice enough to let me do a video of the house while they're still unpacking their belongings. What a view they have from the front here. And the floor is a hardwood. Did you say it was maple, John?
Hickory, I don't know yet, it's a hardwood.
Some kind of hardwood. He's not sure what kind it is, but it's beautiful with a circles on texture hardwood floor. These are some of the animals you shot, right?
Yep, my dad.
Your dad shot that one?
In the 30s.
Wow, that's an old one. Wow.
Yeah, old mule deer.
We might get the missus yet. She's coming home. There's Pam. Come on in. She's bringing home the bacon there. He caught us in the middle of a video of the house. Come on in, it's fine.
Where would you like this?
Sadie says hi. Hi, Pam.
Hi.
I'm in your house doing a video. And where'd you shoot this one, John?
I'm in Kansas. That's a whitetail.
And here's the entrance. And they're still unpacking things.
Is there more?
No, that's it.
What a view from this angle. Look at that.
That's all right.
He shot the bear in Alaska. It's a Alaskan brown bear. This is a master bedroom. It's got the vaulted ceiling in it. And the bath is not yet completed. Every room in the house has vaulted ceiling except the entry and the office, or the, oh, I didn't go in the office yet. Here's a guest bath. This is going to be her sewing room. Excuse me. The massive timbers, those purlins, they carry the roof. And they are throughout the house, and everything is cathedral ceiling except the entry area. Here's a spare bedroom. This is the office with loft above. There's a trapdoor I built for them to get it into the storage loft. That's about it. Good morning, everyone. This is day 3. This is our 3rd morning, and the guys are applying the 3rd coat. We got Paul and Lloyd up on the lift, and they are drench coating like a flood coat, the last coat, which is clear. This is Elizabeth. So how have you liked the job so far?
It's been pretty awesome. I love doing it, and it's beautiful.
And you're an interior
I'm an interior
painter.
Yeah.
So we got her to help, and Paul and Lloyd to put the stain on, and it went really well. We had a efficient crew, and so now we're wrapping up with the 3rd coat. And it looks real milky, and we don't brush it, but it'll all soak in. So John, what do you think of the finished product behind you there? It's basically almost dry with 3rd coat.
It looks really good. We were a little skeptical when Elvie started spraying it on as to how it was going to come out, but I trusted him, and it's done beautiful. We really like it and appreciate the good work.
It looks like a different place, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally changed the outside appearance of it.
last coat appears as if it's dripping and running, but it doesn't. It completely soaks in. That's how the last coat appears. And let's have a look in the front where it's already been dried. Here is finish that's completely dried after the third coat. Elizabeth just got done taking the masking off the doors. There we are. All done. We got the masking off the windows. And it's already dry enough to walk on a couple hours after we got done with the third coat. We like this product for it dries hard, yet somewhat flexible. Look at that plank floor, beautiful. It's got a slightly rough texture, and that helps traction for your feet, but you won't get slivers because we do sand it very slightly. Bighorn Rancher. The only thing left for our crew to do is come back and put the chinking on the outside, all the seams. We carefully set his barbecue back on his porch, but we didn't move it because we want to let the finish dry for a day or so. You can walk on it real carefully, but in about a day, you can go on it all you want. And there's a stain on the ceiling. Railings. We also get the underside of all the overhangs. And we have yet to put the vents in. We'll do that when we come back to chink it. We'll leave them out until the stain is done so we don't have to mask them. Most of the homes that Meadowlark sells and puts together, most of them our crews do the stain and the chink for the customer. You can do it yourself, but believe me, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than you'd think. So it's good to have a crew, and you got to get the equipment you need. You got to get everything, the right tools, and then it's not too bad, but it's a lot of work. You get pretty wore out by the time it's done. This is 3 o'clock, and it's the third day. So we spent Wednesday, Thursday, and this is Friday at 3. So about 2.5 days of work.
Sub-floor that they put down, and it was about $19, I think he said.